Hey, all my brothers. Man, I'm looking at this one brother run. He's running kind of funny, but he's still getting to it, you feel me? All my brothers, all my sisters, all my kings and my queens out there. It's your boy Mtuduzi, back with another video, baby. Today is Tuesday, the 17th of March, 2026. The time is, I'd say, about 10 to 6 p.m., you feel me? As you can see by the title, you gotta have respect for yourself. You gotta have self-respect. I don't know how I'm gonna word it, but as simple as it sounds, it's a very hard thing to do. And I think this is why I want to talk about this subject, right? Because it plays into every area of your life. You know, where do I start? Okay, let me talk about myself, right? Currently, today, man, I'm feeling so strong. I'm feeling so determined. I'm feeling so powerful. I understand that I'm a king. I'm a god. I'm a lord. You know what I'm saying? I understand that I'm handsome. I'm desired by women. You feel me? A man of God. A real nigga, stand-up nigga. I mean, there's many titles I can assign myself, but, you know, I have a lot of respect for myself. And this respect really comes from self-investment. You know, I heard it from Game God Goldie. He said, self-respect comes from self-investment. Something like that, right? And forgive me for not looking into the camera. I just be in my thoughts. But yeah. So, for me personally, you know, I'm currently tracking if I brush my teeth twice a day. I brush my teeth twice a day. You know, I make sure I've been flossing consistently. You know, every week I get my haircut done, you feel me? I stay fresh, I get read up, you know, stay looking brand new. You feel me? I went to the barber today, but he was off. But every week I get my haircut, you know, teeth are brushed. You know, you have to make sure you clean your ears. What else? You know what I'm saying? I take long to shower, whether it's to shower or to bath. But I make sure I'm thorough with it. Like, I'm trying to step out the cleanest or the cleanest. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I ain't got, you know, or maybe people will have to tell this fact. But I don't believe I've got a smile to myself. Like, you feel me? Like a stinky type of smell. A lot of, you know, it's hardly in females. Maybe females who really just let go of themselves. But mainly in brothers, you feel me? There's a certain stank to them. You know, I use roll-on. Funny enough. I make sure I clean down there, you know what I'm saying? But I'm talking at the back because if I'm not wrong, a lot of brothers don't clean there properly. You gotta make sure, you know what I'm saying? You know how to wipe your ass. That's, even though it's TMI, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I just stay fresh, man. Like, always got some spray on me. I'm always dressing good. I keep the jewelry on me, you know what I'm saying? Beyond that, it's like, but let me just say, out of just keeping my body clean, dressing well, you know, I make sure that my clothes don't have holes. This t-shirt's getting kind of old. I might have to, you know what I'm saying, donate it, see what I do with it. But like, I make sure I stay clean. My clothes are clean, you know, just to show y'all the fit. I got on the polo chinos, you know, polo shirt, you know, polo belt. I'll be looking real formal, you know what I'm saying? Kind of dressing my age, which I don't see it as that because I fit many different styles, you feel me? But yeah, it's like just from keeping my body clean and staying fresh. There's a lot of respect I have for myself, as well as brushing my teeth. There's a quote actually. This quote comes from the 9 Disciplines. I think, if I'm not wrong, who's this brother? Give me a minute, I'm gonna name his name. Okay, it will come back to mine, right? White brother, though, he's a motivational speaker. If I'm not wrong, I don't know if it's Brian Tracy, right, that wrote the 9 Disciplines. There's another guy who I'll mention his name when it comes to mind. But basically, they wrote the 9 Disciplines, and in one of those disciplines, or in like an explanation, right, under one of those disciplines, he had wrote, the greater your self-discipline, the greater your confidence. And that's what I've really seen. It's like, just for example, once you start brushing your teeth, make sure that your mouth is clean, you floss. It's hard for you to pull up or on a cheek or in conversation to think that your breath is smelling, right? Your breath could still smell. But the thought doesn't even ever come to my mind because I'm so disciplined in that area. But whereas I can bet you, I say don't brush your teeth or anything for a week, then I say go talk to someone, you're going to be self-conscious. You feel me? So it really is true that the greater your self-discipline, the greater your confidence. And like the more you trust and like yourself. Yeah, so just from that, I have high respect from myself. And that, it really boils down to every other area in my life. I have a certain mindset. So me being clean, me staying fresh to death, you dig what I'm saying? I'm able to go into the job I work and perform at my highest, you know what I'm saying? Make sure that I'm sharp, I'm on point, I'm listening to what Doc needs me to do, who's my boss. Making sure I deliver on time. A great mindset that helps me is I always try to think of the job as, I try to treat it like it's my first day, right? Because I remember my first day, I was so nervous. Made sure that, I ain't messing this opportunity up. It was my first real job, right? So, over time, you can get comfortable. And this is what I see in people. They get cozy at jobs. They don't perform like they should, which I don't judge. But for me, it's like I try keep a high standard. And shout out Wes Watson, you dig what I'm saying? He was on some, I don't care if I was flipping burgers. Like, I've flipped those burgers so good that the owner would have to come to the back and be like, who the hell is making these goddamn crispy burgers, you feel me? But that was basically his analogy. It's like, whatever you do it to the utmost, you feel me? And this is one of the things, just to kind of segue, one of the things I've realized is, I won't always be doing what I love, right? Whether it comes to like this job, it's okay. I like the job. It's not a hard job, right? I feel like there's really not much to complain about, even though it's not really what I want to do. But I've understood that I won't always be doing my passion, right? Even when I become successful in music and I have a career, there'll be a time where it's like you kind of retire, your name is big, you're a legend, but now you look at other things, and like with most people, I'll give you an example like El Tito. He's had his run, even though he wasn't the biggest, you feel me, brother in music or just the biggest hip hop legend. He had his run and now he's into podcasting. Same thing with the soccer legends. It's like I've seen that the path most of them go is, they live out their career, then they end up doing like broadcasting, they comment on the shows. So I've come to a conclusion that whatever I do, whether it's music, whether it's this, I love doing videos, whether it's mining, if I get into mining, it's not what I do, but how I do it. And some other knowledge that came from Alex Hormozi. He was on his friend runs a cookie business and is doing real well. Or not friend, but someone he knew was running a cookie business. Then he asked him, are you really into cookies? He's like, nah, it's not the cookies per se, but it's, taking pride in making the best cookies. And, if I'm not wrong, the brother was selling premium cookies. So obviously he was charging high, making a profit. So yeah, it's not what you do. It's not, what you do, it's how you do it. And that's also some advice that came from Justin Waller. Anyways, I went on a tangent, but this self-respect plays into every other area of my life. Whether it be my job, when it comes to friends, this is an area I still struggle with because I haven't been successful in confronting brothers, holding them to a higher standard. But this should be the norm, and this is what I believe this is going to be my future, right? Calling my friends out, if I don't find their girlfriend the hottest for them, I'll point that out and be like, okay, she's not the hottest, but if you're trying to be with her, that's cool. But yeah, you just have to keep a standard, you know what I'm saying? You have to keep it 100 at all times, you dig, you feel me? Away. Greeting the brothers. But yeah, it's like, whether it comes to friends, keeping it disgustingly honest, you dig. Then when it comes to women, it's like you have to have so much respect for yourself that you're not willing to settle. I mean, we all settle in the end, right? But let that settle be the best terms. Don't get out here double texting a woman that doesn't like you. I'm a victim of following. I still follow a lot of women that don't follow me back. But there are certain girls, I kept following them, unfollowing. I came back, I followed them. And I knew that they weren't going to follow me because it just takes one time to know that if the person is going to follow you or not, right? So I knew that they were never going to follow me. But for me, it was just a thing of I wasn't respecting myself enough to stop following them and never look back, right? Like I'm doing currently. Make sure you never double text. It depends, because if you're up on game, there's certain times where you double text, maybe after a couple of days. But you kind of know when speaking to a female whether she's into you or not, or how much she's into you, right? So it's like, if she really isn't feeling you, just go your own way. You know what I'm saying? It's like, there's a lot of women, even now, currently for me, it's like, I've never spoken to them. And I know maybe speaking to them will make a difference. But since I haven't spoken to them, they just give me like a snacks look, like, you're not good enough for me. And even though I don't believe that, looks are valuable. Don't get me wrong. It's like, even though women overinflate themselves, they do it for a reason, because they are validated so much, because guys are willing to do so much. So they have this standard. And if they feel like I don't meet up, yes, it can come with sadness, especially because I believe us as men, we want pretty women, right? It's in us to want the hardest of the hardest if we can get her. But like, if she's not feeling you, that's the game, you know what I'm saying? It's like, same thing for me. It's like, there's a lot of girls I don't feel, and there's not much that they can do. I mean, they can treat me so well to a point that I'll end up maybe wifing them. But the reality is they're probably gonna have to be there while I go through this phase of trying to find the best girl. And if I can't find her and she's the best, then I'll settle with her. But it's like, you really can't do much. I mean, with guys, you can, don't get me wrong, right? You can always change a woman's mind, especially maybe if she sees you with a girl hotter. But by the time that her mind is changed, like by the time she feels different about you, you've already really moved on, right? You don't even look at her with desire anymore. It's like, I could you should have seen the vision, you feel me? But yeah, like you have to really have self-respect for yourself when it comes to women. It's like, currently I'm practicing semen retention. That means no sex, no masturbation. Today is day 16. You dig what I'm saying? This is my best this year. I've went 16 days in January, then I relapsed. But today, you know what I'm saying? It's day 16 again. And with this mindset, I'm gonna push it on, right? But yeah, it's like, you can't be desperate for sex. And I know it's a biological thing. I'm a guy, right? So I don't blame you brothers for simping, even though it's something we shouldn't be doing. But you just have to have respect for yourself. And once you do have respect for yourself, you just see through all the BS of women. It's like, women overinflate their value. You dig a little deeper, you get to see that all these women are really average. Besides looks, because most women have looks as their upper hand, they're really empty. You know what I'm saying? It's like, once you get over a woman's looks, it's like, what do you really bring to the table? Yes, sir, we're demanding something this side, you feel me? But yeah, it's like, women are really, and not to put them down, you feel me? Because I'm no woman hater. It is what it is. But like, they really don't have much to bring. And then you understand that woman was made for men and not men for women. So you see how this world is backwards. It's a lot, but yeah, respect when it comes to women. I'll go deeper into these different categories, but respect when it also comes to people. It's like, I've borrowed people money, and if they don't bring it back on the terms you agree, I cut you off. Friends, you have to cut off at times. You have enough respect for yourself to where someone disrespects you, you're ready to call it out. Like, nah, like, I'm not comfortable with that. It's funny, they say about a bully that a bully only picks on a certain person because they don't fight back for themselves. It's like, even if that person who's weaker, right, they put up a fight every single time the bully picked on them, the bully would eventually leave because he has to fight, right? But it's that person where the bully, maybe he nudges and the guy doesn't say anything. Then maybe next time around, it's a whole clowning them. They don't say anything. Now it's smacking them. You know what I'm saying? It's just that you have to have enough respect, to respect yourself. Sometimes you have to assess the situation. You can see that, okay, here, this person is willing to lose their life over trying to prove a point. And that's where, you know what I'm saying, you turn the other cheek. If they smack you, turn, because you have to really assess the situation. It's like, you have to have enough self-respect to not put your life on the line. I believe, even with me, like, I believe I'm a killer, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm prepared to die. I say that in words. Obviously, when a situation comes, I don't know how I'll react. But I know that if I put myself in the right mindset, I'm willing to die, right? Protecting myself or protecting a loved one. But, I'm gonna try my best to avoid it at all costs. It's like Jesus said, I'm gonna turn the cheek. You might think I'm weak, but I just assess the situation. Like, is the brother willing to die about this? Why pick that fight? You know what I'm saying? It's like, even though you can probably beat him up, or it's like he's willing to die about it, you know. You know, I've seen videos where brothers are like, do you hate your life? Because I hate mine, nigga. Yeah, I'm willing to die. So it's like, just respecting yourself is so key, man. But truthfully speaking, it's not an easy thing to do. It's not easy, you know, especially with brushing my teeth at night. There's a certain willpower, there's a certain mindset I have to drag myself out that slumber that comes like when you're really tired and brush my teeth, right? There's certain self-control I have to have, which is also a fruit of the spirit. But like, it's hard to hold yourself back from wanting sex, from, you know what I'm saying, fapping to the websites. You know, let me say this. As people, we need to be valued, right? It's a human need to want to be valued, to want to be socially connected. But you have to respect yourself, and it's a hard thing to do, but you have to be willing to have enough self-respect not to reach out to a girl who doesn't text you back, who keeps playing with you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a hard thing to do, but it's really worth it, you know. They say there's two regrets, two pains. It's either the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. But yeah, self-respect is so important, man. Like, you have to have enough respect for yourself to honor God, right? To remember God in everything. You know, words, you know, talk is talk, but walking the walk is another thing, right? Yeah, self-respect. But self-respect is so key, man. It separates the strong men from the weak men. Because if you actually think about it, right? What separates a pimp from a simp? Whew, 6. I'm going somewhere with this. But like, if we think about it, a simp, he's willing to give up damn near even his savings to be with a specific girl who really doesn't want him, you know. I've heard stories from girls, whether it be on videos, mainly on videos, right? Because I don't really talk to women like that. That guys are willing to send them hundreds of dollars or rands just to text message. It's like, men are desperate. I don't blame them, but like, this is the reality. Men are desperate, right? I want to come a little bit closer because I see the light is fading. But yeah, like, brothers are desperate. So men are willing not only to pay to text, brothers are willing to, you know, obviously brothers have, forgive me, weird fetishes, so feet pictures, all that. But men are willing to go on these expensive ass dates. Or not even, it's not even about the date, even though it is, right? Because I don't believe in really spending so much money on a date in order to get nothing back, right? You have to always go low, invest the lowest with women. Hello. But yeah, I'm greeting my neighbor's kid, but you have to be willing to invest low. But brothers are willing to go on 7 dates and the woman says, oh, she's, you know, dangling pussy, but she never gives it to him. You know what I'm saying? Hello. I was greeting my neighbor there, but brothers are willing to go on like even 7 dates and women are still not giving up the pussy. And that's what they want, right? So, and they're not even probably getting a kiss. Whereas another guy, he didn't even have to take her on a date. You know, I'll never forget this experience I had with this one girl. I'll just call her T. I've mentioned her in another video or in other videos, but with T, right, I'd put her at a 7.5, right? You can push it to an 8, but for me, I wouldn't. I'd put her at a 7.5, but I feel like most brothers would maybe consider her an 8. Yeah, but with T, she was telling me about this certain guy that she's like, yeah, I'm speaking to him, but I have the 90-day rule. And because I'm also attractive, I saw that she was also kind of interested in me. But I just looked at her, I was like, I just saw through the BS. I was like, oh man, like he's got it bad, right? Like you're just playing him. And she also kind of smiled on some, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, because he doesn't know the game, because he's low value, he probably doesn't have that self-respect. She put the 90-day rule on him. And I'm a big believer in, it's a hard thing, and I can't say I'm gonna be able to keep up my end of the bargain, which I'm supposed to, right, with this no sex before marriage. But like, it's a good boundary, because this avoids all the BS from women. Like, if you're not willing to sleep with a female, so much of her power disappears. It's like she really has no power over you, right? But yeah, it's like if you're really trying to have sex and they put the 90-day rule on you, it's like you're a dweeb. It's like, I can't put it another way, you're a dweeb, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it really separates, that's the simp, I'd put it like that, from the pimp who requires from a woman, who the woman gives up all her money, right, to this man who is working for the guy. It's like, it's self-respect. Like, and one thing I've come to understand, it's like, you have to be willing to walk away when we talk about females. It's like, this is the power. The power is not getting so attached to one female, even though she's good looking, because you understand that there's gonna be many more females who like you. And let's say like there's 10 out of 10s. There's gonna be, if it's not just one 10 out of 10 that wants you, even though all the other 9 reject you, there's gonna be one that wants you. So it's not getting hooked to a certain girl and trying to get her time and everything, but walking away and understanding that you find your girl, right? Because if you beg women, this is where you lose all respect. And women, it's been said that women don't wield power the right way, because in order to wield power, and this is coming from Beaches and right? That's his handle on Instagram, on YouTube. But he was saying, in order to wield power correctly, you have to have emotional regulation as well as stoicism. And this is what I've seen. It's like, personally, not to judge my mom, but I've seen this also in my mom, because she has power. She's like, I don't know what it is, but she's just not able to wield it in a fair way, right? So, and this is what I've just accepted as truth. It's like, women, if you let them rule over you, they will, right? This is where you find, it's most heartbreaking situations where, hey, y'all really can't see me, but I'm gonna get real close up to you. But, it's these heartbreaking situations where women, sadly enough, just yesterday, I tuned in to MT's live early, right? As soon as I got the notification, I tuned in, and the brother was crying that his former baby mama doesn't want him to see the kids. So women will keep your kids from you unfairly. Women will spend all your money and say, or they'll accept you spending money on them. Then they'll turn around and say, but I didn't ask you to spend money. I didn't ask you to help. women, they are ruthless. It's like they don't care. It's like you have to understand this. It's like women will just use you and move on like nothing happened, you know. I'm not mad at them, but it's funny that women can't take the same medicine they dish out. When a guy ghosts them, it's such a big thing, but they ghost like it's nothing. Right? I don't advocate for using women, but women use the game for evil. Like, us men, like, this is some knowledge from Game God Goldie, but he was saying that, you know, at least men, once they get some game to themselves, they'll try most of the time sleep with the female. But the female will want to take you for everything you have. Take your house, let it be in her name. The cars, you know what I'm saying? Marry you, divorce you like it's nothing, take your money. So it's like you really can't allow women to have the power over you, because they're just gonna get leave you in such a situation where suicide is gonna feel like your only option, right? You know, it's funny. One of the brutal truths about women is women tell temporary truths, right? They don't lie, they tell temporary truths. So, for example, she'll be like, you know, I'll never leave you. I want to be with you forever, until she dips. And it's funny. I remember seeing a video. This other guy is like, she said she's never gonna leave. They were in a car, him and his friend. His friend in the passengers taking the video, right? And the guy that's driving, he just got broken up with. But yeah, he's crying, kind of on some. She said she's never gonna leave. She effing left. You know what? I'm gonna kill myself. Then he puts foot on the gas, and his friend is like, no. But women just don't care. It's like, you know, it's funny now, but like in situations when you experience it, it's like, it's unexplainable. It's like, wow. It's like, but you know, as a man, you know, you stand up and, you know, you tie tape around that heart, you know, put a steel wall. You know what I'm saying? To make sure never again. But yeah, it's like you have to get to that point. And you know, it's always the quote unquote, who hurt you? Are you gonna punish every woman now because of what one woman did to you? But you can never let it happen again, because women will leave you for dead and not care if you die. So it's like, the nature of the game is you also have to be ruthless. And, you know, speaking as a believer, it's something that, it's an uncomfortable truth, right? And, you know, the word says, with much wisdom is much sorrow, much knowledge, much grief, if I'm not wrong. This is in Ecclesiastics. But yeah, it's like, it's such a hard thing, because you can never look at women the same. Yeah, it's a brutal truth. But all this comes down to self-respect. Brothers, if a woman's not willing to come out her pocket, you know, I don't believe in this BS of, oh, you a man. If you go 50-50, you're not a man. If that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't mind paying for dates, but if you're not chipping in, this is you I'm gonna dip, you know what I'm saying? This is not gonna last. I don't believe that as a married couple, right? I'm gonna move closer because the light is fading. But as a married couple, yes, as the man, it's known that you should be the provider. But why is it that if your woman is getting money, she's not chipping in, the money is only for her? Don't allow yourself to get caught up in these BS, what can I say, frameworks or structures. If she's working, let her chip in. If that, like, I'll provide for my woman 100%. If she's always going out her way for me, always the person I want her to be. And you know, as a guy, I don't demand much, but don't be coming with BS to my life. Don't be, you know what I'm saying? Just keep it sweet. Keep it to a point where I love taking care of you, even though I know that she's here because I'm useful and she's also using me. It's an exchange, right? Let it be a fair exchange. Don't come with some BS and expect me to provide 100%. Yo, the light is fading on me. I'm trying my best, but you dig. But yeah, it's like, to wrap it up, it's like, man, have respect. And for me, my respect still has to go up. Like, I have to, I'm still lacking when it comes to the gym. I have to respect myself to the point where I'm in the gym, like, getting my body right. But like, have this level of respect that anything coming under is like, you don't accept it. A situation happened, and I think I'll end it on this, if you know what I'm saying. I don't go over, but there's one of the homies, right? We grew up together, and what ended up happening is he moved to Cape Town. He ended up coming back. Obviously when he came back, we linked up. Now I'm a believer though, so he's still in the world. So it was like a whole clash of, you're not living life. But nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we grew up together, that bond. What ended up happening is, because the brother, he doesn't have good character, right? Anyways, I saw this coming, but he had asked me to borrow him money, right? And I'm only talking about the situation to give an example, right? Because I feel like, not like I feel like I shouldn't be talking about it, but the Bible says not to let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. But he was like, he called me up one day. He was on some, borrow me, I think it was 200. Hey, borrow me 200. I need it for my business. What? And from what I know, he doesn't have a business. The brother's younger than me, right? But anyways, he doesn't have a business. I knew it was BS. But I was like, you know what, Lord? I'm going to go out my way and still borrow the brother. Knowing that he doesn't have a salary. I don't know how he's going to pay me. He doesn't have a job. He's still in college at the time. But I was like, you know what? Let me borrow him this 2 claps, if I'm not wrong. I go ahead. I send the money. And this is the part I forgot, but it came back to mind that the brother tried to, after I had sent the money, I hit him up. Yeah, I sent the money. He's like, what? I didn't receive it. I'm like, this brother's really trying to finesse me out of my 2 claps. Like, he didn't receive it when I know I sent it. But yeah, it's like, then we kind of had this whole back and forth. Like, nah, dog, I sent the money, check properly. That's where, like, first, I already knew, like, he wasn't going to pay me back. But, like, that was the first. I was like, man, the brother's rotten. That's how I really felt, right? Anyways, yeah, he got the money. The brother never paid me back. I just blocked him, cut him off. The other day on Instagram, he hits me up via his mom's profile, then his sister's. But yeah, he's like, drop your WhatsApp number, it's me. And I just ignored him. But I'm thinking, like, obviously, I've forgiven him, right? Because I borrowed him the money knowing. It's like, and this is one thing I've seen, is like, as people, we know, right? We know when someone's gonna, not all the time, I can't say 100% all the time, but we just know, like, when someone's not gonna pay you back, or the story isn't sounding right. But yeah, it's like, I already knew, so I've forgiven him. But it's like, why would I disrespect myself to let him back in my life? And not only that, I know once I let him back, he's just gonna do the same thing. He hasn't changed. So it's like, have your self-respect at a high. Like, even when women come around that used to want you, you don't want them back. And if you do mess with a woman again, charge her a fee. If she's really serious, she'll pay whatever to come back into your life. Otherwise, it's like, don't let them back into your life, man. This goes for everyone. It's like, there's another brother. who, he did me dirty, he was laughing at me about my situation. Just like brother with no character, no morals. The whole time I felt like I was doing him a favor by being friends with him. So I was like, you know what, I cut it off. I was like, yeah, let me do what I do best and, pushed my life forward. But yeah, for the longest time, he's been following me, unfollowing me, following me. And I know what it is, you know what I'm saying? And I probably know he's sorry in his heart. And there's nothing personal against him. It's just that he's not going to change. He's not changed. He's not going to change. So why would I allow myself to be disrespected like that? And when someone doesn't text you back, don't text. It's like, guys, keep the standard so high that even they can think it's arrogance, but you don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's like, same with women. Another thing, I don't believe I have an ego, right? Yes, I believe I'm good looking. Yes, I believe I feel desired, right? But like, no woman is ever gonna trick me or try to convince me that she's my best option when she's not. Try convince me that there's not gonna be another female like her. It's like, if you are genuine, I would have realized your value and I would be with you. But other than that, it's like there's always gonna be a girl that likes me. I'm always gonna have options. It's like, nah, I'm not getting caught up in this whole BS. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and another thing, before I end it, let the woman build the friendship or the relationship. One thing I've seen is always when I've tried to build friendships with women, they act funny. So now it's like, let her build the friendship or the relationship. And if she doesn't build it, then just, cut her off or let it be that. It's like you have to learn how to not need people. But yeah, have that self-respect. It's your point to do them out, baby. Peace.